For over 20 years, the rules of world trade were written in Seattle. If you wanted to buy a phone charger, a pair of socks, a garlic press, or a Bluetooth speaker, you opened one app. Jeff Bezos built a machine so frictionless, so fast, and so dominant that it did not just capture global e-commerce, it became the internet's primary shopping mall. By the early 2020s, Amazon processed hundreds of billions of dollars in volume. It owned the warehouses, it owned the delivery vans, it owned the cloud infrastructure powering half the web. Its Prime subscription was not just a loyalty program, it was a tax on modern convenience paid by over 200 million households worldwide. Amazon was considered unassailable. To challenge it meant building thousands of fulfillment centers, spending hundreds of billions on air cargo fleets, and training consumers to trust a new brand. It was a war of physical infrastructure that no startup on Earth could afford to fight, or so everyone thought. Because while Amazon was busy perfecting its 2-hour delivery networks and erecting multi-billion-dollar fulfillment centers, an invisible crack was forming deep inside its supply chain. To understand how an empire falls, you first have to look at how it was built. In the mid-2010s, Amazon made a strategic decision that changed the world. To increase product selection and drive prices down, Jeff Bezos opened Amazon's third-party marketplace directly to manufacturers in China. Before this, a foreign manufacturer would sell a product to an importer, who sold it to an American brand, who sold it to a distributor, who sold it to a retailer, who sold it to you. Every step added a markup. Amazon cut out the middleman. They invited Chinese factories to ship their inventory straight to Amazon's domestic warehouses through a program called Fulfillment by Amazon, also known as FBA. At first, it was a golden era. Factories in Shenzhen and Guangzhou could list an item for $15 that cost them $2 to manufacture. American consumers got cheaper goods. Amazon collected huge fees. Chinese factory owners became overnight millionaires. Within a few short years, over 60% of all top sellers on Amazon's marketplace were based in China. Amazon had successfully organized global manufacturing under its umbrella. But in doing so, it created a massive, hidden vulnerability. Amazon did not own the products. It did not own the factories. It only owned the digital shelf. And in the business world, if you do not control the supply, you are always vulnerable to someone who does. As Amazon matured from a high-growth startup into a corporate juggernaut facing Wall Street pressure for quarterly profits, its internal dynamic shifted. The company realized that selling physical items was not where the real money was made. It was in charging the people who sold those items. Year after year, Amazon quietly turned the vice. First came the referral fees, a baseline cut of roughly 15% on every sale. Then came fulfillment fees for storing, picking, and packing the items in Amazon's warehouses. Then came long-term storage fees, peak season surcharges, inbound placement fees, and return processing fees. And then came the biggest cash cow of all, Amazon advertising. If you search for a product on Amazon, the top results are no longer the best or most popular items. They are ad slots sold to the highest bidder. By the early 2020s, if a seller wanted their product to appear on the first page of search results, they had to pay Amazon for ad placement. When you added up the referral fees, warehouse costs, shipping charges, and mandatory ad spend, Amazon was taking a staggering 40% to 50% or more of every dollar a seller brought in. Let's trace a real-world example to see how this played out. Imagine a manufacturer named Mr. Chen in Guangzhou. His factory makes high-quality silicone kitchen spatulas. It costs Mr. Chen $1 to make a spatula set. Back in 2017, he shipped them to Amazon's US warehouses and sold them for $12. Amazon took 3 in fees. Shipping costs too. Mr. Chen walked away with a profit of $6 on every unit sold. He bought new machinery, hired more workers, and expanded his factory. Fast forward to 2022. The price of advertising on Amazon had skyrocketed as millions of sellers fought for the same keywords. Amazon introduced new storage charges. Now, to sell that same $12 spatula set, Mr. Chen had to spend $180 on Amazon's referral fee, $350 on FBA fulfillment, $320 on pay-per-click advertising to show up on page 1, $150 on international freight and import duties. Out of $12, Amazon and the logistics system consumed $10. After his $1 manufacturing cost, Mr. Chen was left with $1 in profit. 83% less than he made 5 years earlier, despite doing the exact same work. Mr. Chen was trapped. If he raised his prices to $16, buyers stopped clicking. If he lowered his prices, he lost money. Meanwhile, Amazon was posting record-breaking multi-billion-dollar ad revenue figures every quarter. Millions of factory owners and independent sellers across the globe were feeling the exact same strain. They were doing all the heavy lifting, taking all the inventory risk, while Amazon was extracting the margin. The system was stretched to its absolute breaking point. It was an ecosystem crying out for an alternative. And across the Pacific Ocean, a silent giant was preparing an answer. Enter PDD Holdings. To the Western world in early 2022, PDD Holdings was virtually unknown. But inside China, they were legendary. They were the creators of Pinduoduo, an e-commerce platform that had achieved the impossible. It had taken on Alibaba and JD.com in China and won by mastering a concept called social commerce and gamification. Pinduoduo did not treat shopping as a chore to be completed quickly. They treated shopping as entertainment, as a game, and above all, as a group effort where buying together with friends unlocked radical discounts. The mastermind behind it, Colin Huang, understood human psychology better than almost anyone in tech. He knew that while Western tech giants were obsessed with building fast, slick, premium logistics networks for upper-middle-class consumers, there was a massive, underserved global population with one overarching priority: price. They did not care if a package arrived in 24 hours or 7 days. They cared that it cost $3 instead of $20. In late 2022, PDD Holdings set its sights on North America. They created a new brand. They registered a domain. They designed a vibrant orange app icon. They named it Temu. Their slogan: "Shop like a billionaire." When Temu launched in North America in September 2022, the tech industry chuckled. Dozens of low-cost Chinese shopping apps had tried to enter the Western market before, including Wish, AliExpress, and Light in the Box. Most ended up as punchlines for knockoff items, atrocious shipping times, and abandoned platforms. Amazon barely batted an eye. But Temu was not Wish. Temu was funded by a multi-billion-dollar parent company with infinite cash reserves and a weapon that no one saw coming: the fully managed model. Remember Mr. Chen, our factory owner who was making only $1 on Amazon while paying 50% in platform fees? Temu walked into Mr. Chen's factory with a pitch that sounded almost too good to be true. Stop dealing with Amazon's storage fees. Stop paying thousands of dollars a month for pay-per-click advertising. Stop managing international freight, customer service, or English language product listings. Just tell us the absolute lowest wholesale price you can make that spatula set for. You manufacture it. Drop off 1,000 units at our local warehouse here in Guangdong. We will handle the shipping, the customs, the marketing, the customer support, and the app interface. We will take care of everything. For factory owners, it was an irresistible offer. They could cut out Amazon entirely, eliminate marketing risk, and run their factories at 100% capacity. Temu was not just another marketplace, it was a direct-from-factory pipeline. While Temu was locking down the supply chain in China, it unleashed an unprecedented psychological assault on Western consumers. Opening the Temu app for the first time is not like opening Amazon. Amazon is a digital filing cabinet. You search for what you need, buy it, and leave. Temu is a digital casino. The moment you open the app, a virtual wheel spins. Congratulations! You won 99% off. A countdown timer starts ticking. Claim your 3 free gifts within 9.59 seconds. Pop-ups announce that Sarah from Ohio just saved $45. It triggers pure, unfiltered dopamine. It uses every trick developed by mobile game designers over the last decade to turn shopping into an addictive loop. And then, there were the prices. Wireless Bluetooth earbuds, $349. Running shoes, $788. A 10-pack of cotton socks, $1.99. A digital meat thermometer, $1.20. Consumers were astonished. How is this possible? Is this a scam? Is this real? People began ordering just out of curiosity, expecting to lose $10. Instead, a week later, an orange package arrived at their doorstep. The items were not luxury quality, but for 3isers, they were remarkably good. Word of mouth spread like wildfire on TikTok and Instagram. Unboxing videos with the hashtag #TemuHaul generated billions of views. In February 2023, Temu did something that shocked the advertising world. A company that had been virtually unknown in North America 6 months prior bought multiple commercial slots during Super Bowl LVY. They spent tens of millions of dollars in a single night to drop a 30-second spot into the most expensive television event on the planet. Over 100 million people watched as Temu broadcasted its message. You do not have to be rich to enjoy shopping. You can buy 10 items for $20. The strategy was pure market saturation, a total blitzkrieg. Within 24 hours of the Super Bowl, Temu shot to the number 1 spot on both the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. And it stayed there for months. Temu's parent company was burning an estimated $1 billion to $2 billion a year in pure marketing losses, subsidizing shipping, paying for Facebook ads, buying Google search terms, and paying micro-influencers. They were not trying to be profitable. They were buying market share at any cost. How was Temu selling items so cheaply while shipping them across an ocean via air cargo? It was not just cheap labor or direct factory connections. Temu had discovered a legal backdoor in global trade policy that Amazon could not easily replicate. It is called the de minimis rule. Created decades ago to allow tourists to bring back small souvenirs without paying customs duties, Section 321 of the U.S. Tariff Act stated that any shipment imported into the United States with a fair retail value under $800 could enter completely duty-free, with minimal customs inspection and zero paperwork fees. Look at how stark the contrast was between the two models. Under Amazon's traditional model, goods were moved via ocean freight in massive sea containers. They hit customs as bulk commercial shipments, triggering 10% to 25% or more in tariffs. Sellers had to rent expensive domestic U.S. warehouses, pay heavy local labor costs, and buy inventory months in advance with high financial risk. Under Temu's de minimis model, goods bypassed ocean ports entirely. They were packaged individually in China and flown directly to American consumers via individual air parcels. Because each package was valued far under $800, it crossed the border 100% duty-free. Warehousing stayed in China, where labor and real estate were vastly cheaper, and production became strictly on demand, meaning items were manufactured and shipped only after a customer clicked buy. By exploiting the de minimis threshold, Temu legally bypassed billions of dollars in tariffs, import taxes, and domestic warehousing overhead that traditional retailers, including Amazon, were legally required to pay. Every single day, over 1 million individual packages from Temu and Shein were dropped into air cargo jets bound for the United States and Europe, floating straight past customs authorities completely tax-free. Temu had built an operating model that rendered traditional retail infrastructure completely obsolete for unbranded goods. By 2024 and entering 2025, the unthinkable happened. Data from international postal organizations revealed that Temu had captured an astonishing share of the cross-border e-commerce market. In just 3 years, Temu went from a literal 0% market share in cross-border e-commerce to grabbing 24% of global cross-border sales, placing it side by side with Amazon. Amazon was not losing its entire business, as people still relied on Amazon Prime for fast, 2-day delivery on essential goods, groceries, household items, and brand name electronics. But Amazon was losing a critical, highly profitable piece of its empire: the impulse buy. Consider a typical consumer sitting on their couch on a Sunday morning. She decides she wants a set of desk cable organizers. She opens Amazon. The top result is a sponsored listing from a third-party seller, $11.99 with Prime shipping. Then she opens Temu. The exact same cable organizer, made in the exact same factory in Ningbo, is listed for $189 with free shipping. She realizes she does not need a piece of plastic for her desk in 24 hours. She can wait 6 days if it means keeping $10 in her pocket. She clicks buy on Temu. This scenario played out millions of times a day across North America, Europe, and Latin America. Temu was siphoning off billions of dollars in unbranded household goods, accessories, fast fashion, toys, and gadgets, which are the exact high-margin discretionary items that generate massive advertising fees for Amazon. Amazon's dominance was no longer absolute. The armor had been pierced. Inside Seattle, panic set in. Amazon executives recognized that they were losing a generation of price-conscious shoppers. They could not simply lower prices on Amazon.com without destroying the profit margins of their third-party sellers and taking a hit on their own ad revenue. So Amazon decided to copy Temu's homework. In late 2024, Amazon launched a new storefront designed specifically to fight Temu, Amazon Haul. Amazon Haul featured a separate interface inside the Amazon app. Everything was priced under $20, with most items under $10. Delivery times were extended from 1 to 2 days to 1 to 2 weeks. Items were shipped directly from China. For the first time in its history, Amazon voluntarily degraded its primary competitive advantage, delivery speed, just to match Temu on price. At the same time, Amazon launched a quiet war to win back Chinese manufacturers. They slashed referral fees for low-cost apparel items from 17% down to 5%, begging sellers not to abandon Amazon for Temu. Meanwhile, behind closed doors in Washington, D.C., Brussels, and London, a different battle was being waged: the lobbying war. As we move through 2026, the battle between Amazon and Temu has entered its most dangerous phase yet. The battleground is no longer just on smartphone screens. It is in parliament buildings and federal courts. Retail groups and governments around the world realized that local businesses and traditional importers were being wiped out by the tax-free flow of foreign parcels. The legal advantages that fueled Temu's meteoric rise are crashing down. The United States eliminated the de minimis loophole for commercial e-commerce imports, forcing direct-from-China platforms to face standard tariffs and customs declarations. The European Union introduced flat customs administrative fees on low-value packages and moved to eliminate its duty-free threshold entirely. Data privacy and security authorities launched investigations into Temu's parent company over data harvesting practices, supply chain transparency, and aggressive app permissions. The free ride is officially over. As the rules of global trade are rewritten, analysts and industry insiders are locked in fierce debate over what comes next. Speculation 1. The margin collapse. Many logistics experts speculate that Temu's business model cannot survive without the de minimis rule. Without duty-free exemptions, Temu's shipping costs and prices will rise by 20% to 30%. If a $4 item becomes an $8 item and takes 2 weeks to arrive, the core value proposition vanishes, and consumers will run straight back to Amazon Prime. Speculation 2. The local warehouse pivot. On the flip side, retail insiders suggest Temu knew the regulatory crackdown was coming all along. Rumors indicate PDD Holdings is spending billions to build local warehouse hubs across North America and Europe, forcing Chinese suppliers to store inventory locally. If true, Temu is attempting to morph into a direct competitor to Amazon's domestic network, combining factory prices with local delivery times. Speculation 3. The hybrid survival strategy. Other analysts argue we are heading toward a permanent duopoly. Amazon will forever hold the high-value, urgent purchase market for electronics, groceries, household staples, and premium brands. Temu will hold the low-cost, unbranded leisure shopping market. Consumers will simply split their wallets based on how fast they need an item. The story of Temu taking space from Amazon is not just a story about two tech giants fighting for market share. It is a profound lesson in the fragile nature of modern business monopolies. For years, Amazon believed that its moat was unbreakable because it built the largest physical logistics network in human history. They believed that if you control the warehouses, the planes, and the delivery trucks, no one can touch you. But Temu proved that in the digital age, infrastructure can be bypassed if you control the supply and understand human psychology. Amazon grew complacent. It squeezed its third-party sellers with endless fees, flooded its search results with paid ads, and assumed consumers would pay a premium forever. It forgot that at the end of the day, commerce is built on a simple promise: delivering the best possible value to the buyer. Temu exposed the hidden cost of Amazon's convenience. It proved that millions of shoppers are willing to wait a few extra days if it means saving real money. Whether Temu survives the legal and regulatory storms ahead, or whether Amazon eventually absorbs the blow and adapts, one truth has been permanently exposed to the world: no empire is too big to fall, no monopoly is safe forever. And in the relentless, fast-moving world of global trade, all it takes to rock a multi-trillion-dollar giant is a little orange app, a factory in China, and a message that tells the world, you can shop like a billionaire.